Good morning. I'm trying out something today because the internet comes today. So excited. Internet day. Yes. Me and my husband were joking last night and we were like, what if it's worse than what we already have? He's a big. Also, if anybody knows how to get this out, I think I spilled like some grease or something on it, and I've washed it a million times and sprayed like spray on it, and it won't come out. And I only notice it when I'm like in this light. But yeah, he was like, what if it's worse than what we get? He's a big time gamer, and so I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be better because you're just gonna be like wanting to play all the time now that the internet will actually work. He was like, hush, you're gonna be talking to all of your TikTok people. I said, you're right. Yeah, I'm trying something. Yeah, I'm trying something different today. Yeah, that would be God teaching us to be grateful for what we have. Yvonne, what does your husband play? My husband is a big time Call of Duty person. Like, big time Call of Duty person. He does Call of Duty Mobile. So, good morning, y'all. Good morning. Dawn dish soap. Okay, I'm going to have to try that. Yes, internet is... Of course it is. Did you get day one done? I did. I didn't get to check off eating healthy yesterday because it just had to be a grace day. I forgot my lunch, and so when I was at work, the only thing that I had was like snacks all day, so I didn't eat literally a single vegetable. But today's gonna be different. So I've already got my ideas planned out in my head for what I'm taking for what I'm doing for breakfast, what I'm taking for lunch. I've already got it planned out. I'm a gamer. I play Final Fantasy 14. It's an MMO. Cool. Yeah. Call of Duty and Battlefield. Yvonne, it is very possible. I love the thing that's so cool about Dustin is that he plays Call of Duty with like people literally all over the world. Like Costa Rica, we had some friends. I guess we're technically like one and the same. But he plays with like people from all over. It's the coolest thing. It is literally the coolest thing. I'm trying to get this set up because guess what I got? Because of y'all and all of your generosity. I was able to get a podcasting mic, and so I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this community. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited to be able to pull this up and do this. Like, it's going to be the best thing ever. Some people might not understand, but if you've been here from the beginning, you will understand what a big deal this is. Okay, but I have to set it up. That's what I'm trying to do. So, yes. For those of you who are in Patreon, this is what the purchase was. It was a big blessing. It really was. Okay, let's see. This is propped up on a trash can if y'all want to know how fancy I actually am. Okay, I think we've got it. Okay, I think we got it. And I'm so pumped, you guys. Not yet. My internet gets here today, Krista. Today. It's so hard to see y'all's names. I have to like do this. It gets here today at 11:30 Central Standard Time. So y'all be praying. Nothing happens. My husband's friend that is over the internet place. It's TEC Internet. But my husband's friend who's like one of the head boss people. He he cracked me up because he sent Dustin like a bunch of exclamation points because we've been bothering him so much. Okay, how do you go about teaching to your students in high school about Jesus without getting in trouble? So I'll answer this. I love that you are just you. Seriously, I'm so sorry. I just got off of my 30-minute workout. If y'all are doing 75 holy, y'all know that yesterday was a struggle for me. And so, so I just got off the spin bike and I put this sweatshirt on because I was not about to show up in my sports bra, but I'm sweating down. So anyways, let me answer that question and then we'll get going. Okay, so I am a high school teacher. I don't discuss my faith in the classroom unless they bring it up. Because being a high school teacher, first of all, you have to understand that, number one, in that role, although Jesus goes with me in every single role, and I'm actually going to record this because this is a popular question. So Jesus goes with me in every single role and every single day because I am just a follower of him. I walk in his light. That's what we're talking about right now. That's what we're studying. But in that setting, because there are so many different opinions, and if you listen to the Jamie Winship podcast, like a few of his others that he's done on other podcasts, he talks about this. Like, we have to go in showing people how we are different from the world before they're going to be willing to listen to anything that we have to say. My kids know that I follow Jesus, first of all, because all of them have found me on TikTok. So every single one of them have found me on TikTok. They actually are more concerned with how many people are following me on TikTok than I am. Like, they come in and update me all the time, and I'm like, blah, blah, I don't want to hear it. Like, that's not what's important. You're missing the whole point. Have you not listened to anything? And so anyways, they will watch some of those, and it's so funny because they freak out when they accidentally like it because they think that I can tell, but I can't because there's the notifications don't come in like that. But anyway, it's just really funny that they freak out about that. They're like, I accidentally liked your video and I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay, Anyway, I'm not going to call you out in class or give you a 0 for it. But so when I show up to work, my number one goal is to be prayed up and to show them Jesus. This generation of young people, they're struggling so much with their identity. And I teach 11th and 12th grade. And so they went through vitally important psychological development years in COVID. Like, they went through several years in isolation away from their friends, with their parents struggling, probably financial struggles. It doesn't matter and I actually teach at a lower income school. And so these aren't wealthy kids. They don't come from wealthy families. And so showing them that you can come out of seasons like that and still have grace and mercy and joy and different things like that, that's what shows them Jesus. Like, they want to know what community feels like because they don't know what that looks like to them. They went from the years of like awkward middle school to straight into high school, and it was like a sucker punch. They're also, a lot of them, struggling academically because they missed those really important years where they were doing state testing and they were learning some really important aspects of like math and different things, and they were basically having to teach themselves because parents were still having to work. And so right now in this season, the most that you can do for students who are in that age range is just to love them. It's just to love them where they are and just be a light and just tell them, like, it's okay if you're struggling. Like, we're going to get through this together. They don't know how to really handle social situations very well, most of them. And so just loving them and meeting them where they are is going to show them Jesus, because everything in the world right now is telling them they're not enough, that they're not far enough, that they are behind academically, that they're behind socially, that they're behind in every aspect of their life. They feel like they're just trying to play catch up. And so we just have to show them the love of Jesus and just be there for them and just love on them. And so That's how I show them Jesus. And of course I have, like, my sister painted me a Bible verse, begin each day with a grateful heart, and so that's hanging in my room, and different things like that. So it's not that they don't know that I'm a Christian. And then I told y'all yesterday that a person, one of my kids, brought up, there's no such thing as spirits because of a presentation that one of my other kids did, and I was like, actually there is. And as being a Christian, I fully believe that there are spirits. That's biblical. That's not something that we can say doesn't exist. And so I like little things like that. I bring my faith into the classroom, but that is my ministry. And so when you go like to Haiti or something like that, you have to show them that you're coming there because you love them before you can just throw Jesus on them. Because the first thing that they're going to say is like, if God is really real, then why don't I have food? Like, if God is so good, why don't I have food? Or why don't I have clean water? Why did my mom pass away from a disease from drinking dirty water? Like, you've got to approach it from love first. That's what Jesus did. He walked with them first, and then he just showed them who he was. Like, that's what discipleship is. That's what going is. Like, we have to do life with people. That's the part of the gospel that we don't understand. Like, we just want to shoot a testimony at people and spit some Bible verses at people, and that be what saves them. But God said to go and get messy with people, get in their lives, like work with them, like be in their life. Like, that's what discipleship is. So anyways, that's how we show up. That's how we show up. And if, like, I saw your verse, like, if you're not allowed to talk about your faith, you walk your faith. Like, you walk it every single day. Your students will know something is different about you. They will know that something is different about you. And when they ask, if they truly ask, there's nothing wrong with telling them, well, I'm a Christian and I follow Jesus, and leave it at that. And that could be the seed that you plant that opens up the door. But let them see Jesus in you. That's what the world wants. And actually, it's so crazy. I hopped on, I was riding the Nordic track bike this morning, and I hopped on podcasts. I was listening to worship music, and I was like, I really feel like I need a podcast this morning. And so, anyway, I turned on the podcast whatever app, and the first one that came up was the Made for This podcast by Jenny Allen, and it was a old podcast that she recorded in 2020. And it actually made me cry because it was exactly what I needed today, even though she recorded it 3 years ago. And because this was her questions. She was talking about how we can, like, scale back when we get fearful and discouraged. She was talking about how we pull back and we, like, self-loathe, or we comfort, or we're really good at, like, evading our responsibilities and going away from what we need to be doing. We're so good at that. We procrastinate like crazy. And so a lot of that is because we don't understand the urgency of doing what we're supposed to be doing. But she was talking about how despair is not a part of our story. That's not who we are. We don't live in despair because we have Jesus. Like, we walk with Jesus. We don't live in a season of despair. We already know the end of the story. The story is we win. And so anything that happens to us, it should not discourage us. It should not make us fearful. It should not put us in despair, because we already know how the story ends. We have the ending of the book written. We can read ahead. You know how people do that? When you're like, are you one of those people that, like, when you're reading a book, you go ahead and read the last chapter so you know, because you can't wait? Well, we have access to that. Go ahead and read it, because it's hope. It's joy. It's heaven forever and ever and all of eternity. And so we know the end of the story. And so she talks about how the world is looking for hope. The Google searches, when she recorded this podcast, for faith-related searches like, is God real? How do I find God? It was up 15%. People are looking for hope. People are looking for God. That's why we go into the world and we show them what that hope and what that faith looks like. If we just walk around with our head between our legs and we act like we're just hopeless and all is lost, and we're just disappointed because of everything, and we don't have have what we want in our bank account or the job that